Hey guys, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Ah, Nina is MIA right now. It's all right though. How are you guys doing? Let me see who else here. Let me see who else here. We got Mr. Shadow Kitty was first. How you doing? Michael Roble. What's going on? It's wet in Florida. I believe that. Um, I've actually been in Florida in the middle of a hurricane because we had planned to go to Disney World when I was early teens. So that was interesting. On the rainy days, we still went, and like nobody was there. It was amazing. Hey Brian Stevens, mumble mumble booga boo. You like the intro song. I'm looking for more songs to like for my hold screens. I like to shake it up a bit. Um, let's see. Tony Designs, what's up? How you doing? How you doing? It's wet in Mississippi too. I bet. I bet. It's lots of rain, I think, across the US. What's up, Nether? Hey Native Atheist, how you doing? What's going on? You hate the YouTube app. I'm sorry. I know. It can be the YouTube app can be a bit of a booger, Nether, if we're be honest. Wayne Terry, what's up? From Wayne and Teresa in Canterbury, England. How are you doing? Hello, everyone. Um, so much has happened. So much has happened. It just seems like there's always something happening, which is at least with my life, which makes it exciting. And this time, um, well, there's lots of happy, exciting things, and there's also disconcerting, weird things. So let's talk about the happy, exciting things. So, guys, this week in BS, I'm bringing that back. I've been I've been like a bit overwhelmed with my job because being in academia, I had about 2 weeks to write an online course for chemistry, and I wrote it, and it's pretty good. Given I had 2 weeks. It's based on a lot of my own lecture videos in this style, believe it or not. And so college students are being educated with videos like this with chemistry content with my face in it. So that's pretty cool. That's exciting. I'll be redoing some of those as that particular school changed their textbook, which is fun for me, so it's okay. And then I'm finding out, hey guys, guess what? Like college professors, they screw up too. You know, we screw up. Um, I've, I've, and this is what I love about my online course. And if I were to go through and I'm the professor of the course, um, I require the students, if they want to see any exams or quizzes or what they missed, they have to meet with me because I'm not going to just release, excuse me, release the questions from my online course because it pretty much compromises the exams and stuff. So so they were like, I'm pretty certain I got this right. And then they come and I talk to them in like a Zoom call or something. And I'm like, you know what? You got this right. I selected the incorrect answer. And sometimes I have typos where I've left out left out a thing and I'm like, and these are like what I feel are rookie mistakes, but it's cool for students to see, hey, a professor has a typo and screwed up and screwed up. And you know what? They own it. I own my mistakes. I am more than happy to own my mistake. And I am more than happy to go, you know what? I was wrong on this. Let me fix it. And then I shoot out an email and I don't say which person told me I messed up because of privacy concerns. But I say, hey, thanks so much for meeting with me and talking with me and saying, hey, I think I got this right. I don't understand. I thought I got this right. And then come to find out, hey, you didn't miss 2 questions. You got 100, man. You know? But it's awesome. And so I've been really hard on myself for not being perfect, you know? But then I think, what's it like? What would it have been like for me to go? First of all, it's very intimidating to go to a professor anyway. But for to sit there and go, hey, the professor messed up. And you know what? The professor owned it. And the professor said she was wrong. And you know what? She gave me credit. And I'm just like, yeah, absolutely. Talk to your professors, guys. Talk to your professors. Um, so that's a really, so that's something I was just kind of like, ah, oh goodness. Oh man. So, Mel, do you know the channel Professor Dave Explains? He does some good online teaching material. I think I think I've seen some of Professor Dave's stuff. Um, what I'm thinking about doing, and this is something else, I'm thinking about releasing some chemistry videos that I do. That's based on college texts, um, and have that available. I think there's a subscriber option here on my YouTube. So I'm thinking about releasing and doing like textbook style, textbook based type of instruction to go through and discuss different things, even talk about, homework problems and stuff like that. I think that might be cool. I'm also considering writing a grant and to try to help the college I'm affiliated with to do more of open courseware, kind of like that, in that style, where I'm working with other professors to see if we can have an open courseware format to try to generally educate the population anyway. Because I don't, we have a few things like that where I live, but not really heavily, available. Yeah, should we be building arcs? Maybe, maybe. But I often feel like, and I was thinking about this last night, I got really angry. I mean, like, I was, I was raging angry yesterday. And I feel like often, like Noah trying to tell people, y'all gonna die. And nobody's listening to me. And that's to do a bit with the masks. But maybe, maybe we should build an ark for the rain. I'm going to get to why I was angry. I'm still a little mad, if I'm honest. I'm still a little mad, but I'm less mad. I'm less angry. I had a professor, Nether says, I had a professor that had an error in his lecture slides. He knew it, but we still had to memorize that error because he updated neither the slides nor the exam. He hated teaching and much rather just do his research on nanoparticles. Having been a person who's done research on nanoparticles, they're really cool and I enjoy them. But, I'm at a teaching institution. I'm not at a research institution. But we do have undergrad research at the teaching institution. And we do some research there. But the main goal is education. So for some of those core courses, I highly, highly recommend you check out teaching institutions because they're invested in the success of their students. And nobody tells you that. They're like, ooh, I should go to this big old university, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. Well, the smaller college is going to be more invested in helping you learn the material. And then if you want to take the more advanced courses, after you get your core material, then hop over to the hoity-toity big old university, which is great, So it's just, you're like, eee. So, but some of those, smaller colleges do research. But there you go. Okay. You got Professor Dave's channel, Brian Stevens on that. Tony says, I've always wondered what it would be like to not be perfect. I didn't realize you were the measure. You're like the standard that we all measure ourselves by. I'll see how I measure then. That's pretty funny. Yeah, typos suck, Mr. Shadow Kitty. They do. They do. It's like, I can tell, that the pollen and stuff, I have allergies. His course is mandatory too, and he had to be that way. Nether. I just can't, you're just like, eh. But anyway, so I was really angry yesterday. So in my town, there is no mask mandate. There's no mandatory use of masks mandated by the local government or the government in the county. They haven't done that. But major stores like Kroger and Walmart and Costco and Sam's Club and a lot of these major stores, and now including McDonald's and some fast food places, they're now requiring masks for people to wear, which makes me feel better because I feel like that's the only way we're going to get this under control is if everybody wears a mask. So out of the goodness of my heart, I thought maybe I need to educate the local people, because they've probably heard a lot of things that they probably, heard, well, coronavirus is a hoax. And some were actually making fun of my mother, my mom. My mom wears a mask. And so a couple of days ago, my mom calls me. And she just wanted a place to vent, okay? She just wanted a place to vent. She called me, she was in the hospital like a few weeks ago with kidney stone stuff. And she spent some time in the hospital, not very long, as outpatient, thank goodness. So my mom, essentially, is always wearing a mask. And she's fortunate enough to work from home. She's pushing 70. Okay, my mom's pushing 70. And she just needed a space to vent. And, once the lockdown hit, once the virus started to present itself, I'm in a text group chat with my family. And so I start messaging them and I'm like, hey guys, this is what you need to do. This is what the information is. And this is how you need to stay safe, because I have a sister, I have a brother, they have young children. And my sister is immune compromised. She has an autoimmune disorder. My brother is allergic to just about everything. So getting vaccines for him is a challenge. So, he can't take certain vaccines, and he carries an EpiPen with him because he's fatally allergic to certain types of food. And so I'm messaging them. I'm telling them, okay, here's a protocol on how to wipe down your groceries. This is what you need to do if you leave the house. This is what you should do when you get home. Just, setting it up for them. Options that are disinfectants if they don't have access to Lysol. I told them where they can go to get things and how to use it. So I'm on top of taking care of my fam. You know what I mean? So my mom calls me and she's like, I am so angry. She's part of a group of gardeners, and they're master gardeners, and you can go to the local college and get the certification. So these master gardeners, or the local university even, are making fun of her for wearing a mask. And she's not going to their social gatherings. They're having barbecues at their houses. A lot of these people are on the higher end of the age group. They're like, late 50s, early 60s and up. Okay. This is including the mayor of the town I live in and his wife, okay? This is including the mayor of the town I live in and his wife. They are making fun of my mom for wearing a mask, okay? These people in local government and part of an organization that educates the public on gardening, which is, it's great. It's a wonderful program. They also talk about wildlife and how you can get the, wildlife in your yard so you can watch like birds. And my mom's backyard is a certified bird sanctuary. So it's like, so these people are making fun of my mom for wearing a mask. Now, I have my differences with my mom, just like any person. But, she's like, I don't know how to tell them. Look, and they all think this is a hoax. They think it's not real. They think it's not a big deal. And so I had to put it to my mom. And I'm like, you need to start preparing for yourself for some of these folks to die, because they're probably going to. One of them just got back from a trip to Florida. We know how Florida's doing, guys. Not a knock on those of you who are wearing a mask, but Florida. So one of them just got back from a trip to Florida, and, they're hanging out for a barbecue, I think this weekend. So I'm like, all right, what can I do? And so I reassured my mom. I told my mom what's going on with the virus, that she's doing the right thing. I commended her for that. And I'm like, you know what? You just keep taking care of you. And if they give you problems, send them to me. So she's like, I don't want to stir up anything. I say, okay. So yesterday I text her. I'm like, hey, mom, do you have connections still with the mayor and stuff? It's like, well, he's anti-mask, so, whatever. And I said, okay. I said, I'm thinking about maybe doing like a webinar, kind of like a stream like this, to where I'm like, okay, guys, let's talk about the myths and, the facts associated with the virus. And, I can get some masks, and if you need a mask, I'll get one for you. I live in a very small town. I thought, well, I can go on Amazon and get like 50 masks for like $25-$30. Let me get 100 of those. Let me take them to like city hall or town hall, and then y'all just hand them out to people who need them, right? That was so I post in my town Facebook page and in like a group of people who are fans of the town. There's like 11,000 people in this group. And I post in there. I'm like, hey, here's my background. This is where I'm working. I used to teach in the schools here. I'm offering, I really just like to kind of do a Q&A if you have questions. I'd really like to maybe have like a webinar, but if you have questions about the virus or anything like that, post them here in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. And so I do that. And I'm like, hey, and also I'm thinking I want to get some masks together. So if you're a high needs person, I'm thinking I could take the masks to the town hall and then they could distribute it out to you or something, and if you're interested in volunteering with that, let me know. That's what I post. Okay, I post this. I told my mom. She's like, I think that's a great idea, honey. And I'm like, okay, Mom, I think I'll do that. Maybe I can, talk to some of these folks. Because I had talked at length with her about why it is that people are doing this sort of thing. Why are they buying into the coronavirus as a hoax and that sort of thing? Why aren't they wearing a mask, and why are they angry about it? So I talked to her a little bit about my experience and what I deal with. And by the way, I'll get into this in a second. Never mind. Let me finish the story. So she's like, okay, well, I can see what you mean and all that. So I'm like, maybe I can reach out to individuals. And I'm like, all right, let me see if I can talk about this. Maybe, people are afraid. I know they're afraid, and that's part of the reason why they're acting this way. So it's like, okay. So then I post this, and I'm like, I'm going to get my exercise on. I learned a lot yesterday. So I get my exercise on. and I'm like, I'm going to take a hike on my treadmill. Then I'm going to do some weight. I did some ab work, and I'm like getting my abs in. I'm like going on, and then I got like my plank, and there's like a thing that I got where you can play a game while you're on your plank, while you're doing a plank. And it's pretty rigorous. And then I was like, okay, now I'm going to get back on the treadmill and cool down. So as I was pausing between my sets, because I was trying to get a little interval training with my abs and my core, I was responding to questions, and it started out great. And there were people like, what do you think about this? How's this all going to end up? What are we going to expect here? What do you think about it? And I'm like, well, here you go. And I said, it's going to take everybody wearing a mask, and we have to reduce transmission. That's the only way this is going to stop. And that's the thing. We're going to have to reduce transmission. And then I get on my treadmill, and then do you think my rights should be infringed upon and I should be forced to wear a mask, folks, start showing up? Yes. Those folks started showing up. Do you think we should be forced to wear a mask? And so I said, you know what? Thank you for asking me that question. I feel like I need to kind of talk a little bit about what the virus is. And so I get into the details of how it's an RNA virus, and the more people it infects, the higher the chance you get of it mutating into something worse. We already have 2 really bad strains right now. One is highly infectious, and the other one has a huge viral load, which means in about 200 times more than another strain. That means there's about 200 times more viruses in that person's body than another person. So I'm listing my citations. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to talk, and I'm going to put this out there. Maybe other people will see it, and other people are like, hey, thank you for this. This is really nice. That was welcome. And then those folks started coming in, and it escalated rapidly. So I'm sitting there, and they're going, well, it's infringing on my rights and blah, 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 and all that. Then a veteran comes in and is like, hey, look, I'm a veteran. I served for 40 years in the service, and I wear a mask. People are making a fit over this, and they don't need to do that. This is important. We got some new people showed up. I want to say Mama Atheist is here. Hello, Mama Atheist. I think I saw another Grey Heart Labs. What's up? I always try to say hi to people when they pop in if I didn't. Megalite Master. Hey, what's going on? All right. So they show up, and they start taking over. All right. They start taking over. And then the guy starts calling the mask a face diaper, because, that's a completely mature and grown-up response to a scientist. Another person says, are you sure you're not a lawyer? I said, well, I'm here to discuss the science of things, not the morality on why it is that you think it's okay to spread a disease or a lethal virus. That's not why I'm here. So, I wouldn't want that on me. So that's why I wear a mask. So I was having a good conversation with a couple of people. What the veteran guy was like, it's like, this is why we get vaccinated, so that other people don't get there. I said, I really appreciate you bringing up that. That was really nice. That I like that you brought that up. And then the other guy's like, well, this is infringing on my rights. I said, why can't you? And then I said, okay, let me ask you something. Why can't you drive drunk? And he goes, well, we voted for that. We voted that we shouldn't be doing that. I said, and the veteran goes, no, we didn't vote for that. They made this a law. There's also a law. We didn't vote for why you can't scream fire, or, in a theater, you can't yell certain things. And it's like, so it got out of hand. Then they start going, who is this person? You just joined this group today. I said, I live here, and I have been here for like 15 years. So, and I taught some of y'all's kids. Okay. And so this other person, I had misspelled one word, one school's name. I said, you're right, I misspelled that. It's actually this. And then they said, but you didn't put the actual state name in the college that you teach at. I said, well, I figured you could insert the state on your own. But okay. Maybe you're not capable of extrapolating that. And then they go to my profile and they start screenshotting my stuff on my Facebook. And then they start posting it there. Now, on my banners, I change them out because I think it's funny, because people think Antifa is an organization and it's not. So I have like a banner of like Wonder Woman and it says Antifa. I had a banner once of the X-Files and it said Antifa at the top. I had another banner of all the women from Wonder Woman and it said Antifa at the top, because they're anti-fascist, right? So I had that as my banners. And I had one of a Nine Inch Nails concert that I went to locally. And I had colorized it. It looked really cool. It said Antifa at the top. This was meant to be funny. So these people who cannot keep to a topic and call masks face diapers, go to my profile, screenshot it, and start posting it. It's like, you're a member of Antifa. Okay. Oh my God. So it's like, you're a member of Antifa. You're indoctrinating us with your Antifa-ness. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? You're indoctrinating us to be Antifa. And this is like, I'm hearing this, and I'm in the Bible Belt. I'm in the Deep South. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie. This is how these people would talk. And I'm sitting here going, I knew I would get some pushback. But for somebody to go to my profile, take screenshots of my banners, and take that seriously. And then they're like, well, you support Antifa. I said, it's freaking Wonder Woman and the X-Files. It's meant to be elicit a laugh. It's a joke. And if you can't understand the joke, it is not my responsibility to explain it to you. So I'm like, okay, can you stick to the topic? Can you have a mature, productive discussion without resorting to troll and juvenile tactics? If you can't, I'm very sorry I couldn't communicate with you effectively. So, so my mother is watching all of this unfold, knowing that I did this and knowing that I was going to do this. And so it escalates. Guys, they don't even stop there. They then start accusing me of flag burning. I'm now a flag burner that's indoctrinating them with Antifa indoctrination. I'm a flag burner, which I've never burned a flag. I mean, I don't care that much. So it's like, okay. So I'm indoctrinating them with Antifa agenda. I'm a flag burner. Does she wear a mask when she burns flags? And I'm sitting here going, oh my God. I said, so you guys are going to my Facebook profile and combing it. This isn't creepy at all, guys. This isn't creepy at all. I said, are you going to try to figure out where I live next? Do I need to call the authorities? And they're like, I wish you would. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? And now, so supposedly there were moderators who started out saying, keep it civil. They all disappeared. Okay. There were no moderators at all this entire time. I was being accused of all kinds of stuff. There were people being exceedingly creepy combing my Facebook timeline, making assumptions that my joke banners are serious. And I'm like, well, you know, Captain America is also Antifa. We're going to talk about that. But, oh my God. Then, it doesn't stop there, guys. It doesn't stop there. So all of this is going down. Keep in mind, I'm walking on my treadmill trying to cool down. I'm trying to cool down from my workout. So for 47 minutes, I figured it out on my Fitbit app because I had my Fitbit watch on. For 47 minutes, I spent rage walking on my treadmill trying to deal with bigoted, intolerant people who are willfully ignorant in my town. In my town. And so it escalated further. The guy started posting memes. I said, so we've reached the meme posting portion of the troll activity. Good job. And there's, you just called me a troll. You're trying to silence me. You're trying to shame me and silence me. I'm like, I couldn't possibly silence you. Are you kidding? You won't be quiet and you can't stick to a topic or have a productive adult discussion. And then they just start posting more memes. And then he starts going to this weird guy who said, you know, basically, anyway, I'm a flag burner, goes to my profile, screenshots it, you know, he's a different person. He screenshot it and he goes, do we even know who this person is? Are they real? Who is this person? Do we know who they are? Do we know who they are? And I'm sitting here going, these crazy people are going to try to figure out where I live. That's what I started to think at that point. That's where I started to think at this point. Again, the moderators are absolutely nowhere to be found. And there were other people in the group that were just like, can you stick to the topic? Why are you harassing her? You're being a jerk right now. Can you calm down? So there were other people there that were trying to mitigate this. But I'm just like, I'm sorry. I already have one crazy online stalker. I don't want one that lives in my town. Or two, for that matter. Two of them are doing that. And then a third one that initially was interested in what I had to say decided that I had an Antifa indoctrination agenda. And anything I said at that point was just, okay. So I then had to block certain people. I had to delete my post. And I left the group. That's what I did. And, you know, one of the moderators messaged me after that and goes, I'm really sorry this is happening. I'm like, okay. And I thought, well, you know, at least they contacted me. That was nice. You could have, I don't know, moderated, but, you know, at least they reached out to me. And so I thanked them for that. I said, when they went and started combing my timeline and started to attack my character, that's where it really became a problem. But, you know, if you know anyone who needs a mask, just let me know. I'd be happy to give them one still. He's like, okay, thanks. So it's just, oh my God. Oh my God. So 47 minutes of that, I'm rage walking and handling all of this. And my mom called me. My mom was so upset. She was like, you got to delete that. You got to delete that. You just delete it. Don't engage with them. I'm just like, you know what? If they get it and they die, it's on them. You know, I've washed my hands, man. Washed my hands. I'm not dealing with this. So, all right. Let me catch up on the chat. I'm sorry that happened. Me too, Megalite Master. Because my county is not, mask mandated, but the county over next to me is. Fortunately, that's where I work, the county over, and I'm so glad I don't work in the county that I live because I used to be a school teacher here, a high school science teacher. I am so glad I'm not a high school science teacher right now, guys. I will be very honest with you. If I was and I wasn't given the option to teach at home, I would quit. I would quit. Because what they're doing, they're even taking away duty-free lunches for teachers, like in several states. Usually you have a duty-free lunch where you're not in charge of the kids during lunchtime. That allows you time to go to the bathroom, return phone calls, and it's in the middle of the day, and that's really important. You don't know when your planning period is. If your planning period's at the beginning of the day, and then you don't have a duty-free lunch, you don't get to go to the bathroom until the kids leave. Or if your planning period is at the end of the day, you don't have a duty-free lunch, you don't get to go to the bathroom until the end of the day. So, I'm so glad that I'm not a teacher in this county right now, because of the complete and total lack of respect for what is happening right now. So let's see. Nether says there are two types of people: those who can extrapolate from incomplete data, and bing, bing, right there. So like 90% of Americans, you're against far-right authoritarianism. Woo, Tony Designs. Of course they were going to do that. They are idiotic. They are that idiotic. That's right, Megalite Master. They're going to go to my profile and find anything they can to yell at me because they don't want to wear a mask, rather than have a productive conversation about what's going on. What has she got on her Facebook profile that I can yell about and harass her over? I mean, man, the problem isn't that the people without masks will die. The problem is that for everyone without a mask, exponentially more people will suffer and die. Yes, that's true. But keep in mind, a lot of these people don't leave this county. This is a farm county. They don't really go in. They won't go to the city. That's where all the bad people are. So they'll keep it here, and it will become a hot spot. They'll keep it here, and they'll kill everybody in my town. And so they'll get it and they'll die. They won't leave this county. This county is going to be hit pretty hard. A lot of these people, it's just some of them don't even have cars. There's a high rate of poverty where I live. I live in a pretty nice neighborhood. And my house was built in 95. And I'm on almost 2 acres of land because it used to be a septic system. And then they hooked it up to a sewer. And I'm like doing renovation work and stuff, so it's cool. But a lot of these people are on a very, very low poverty line income, but they do have access to the internet, and they're going to scream and holler about stuff. Very few of them actually leave the county. So any infection that we have, the fact that they're making them wear masks in Kroger and Walmart and all of these other, major chain places and McDonald's, that's huge. That's huge. Ooh, did I get a super chat? Super chat. I hate that viruses have become decisive topics. Thank you for the super chat, Vandalia 1998. It has been a super hot topic. Grey Heart Lab says, the more I hear your story, the more I lose hope for people. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that stuff. I was so angry. I actually texted my friend Doc Savage, and I was like, I'm so mad, and I just rage dumped in his messages. But I do that sometimes, and I'm grateful he allows me to. He's my friend. So I'm just like, I can't, I started out with all positivity in my messages. I'm like, hey, so I think I'm going to work with the local government and try to see if I can get some masks. And then after that, I was like, I just can't believe, and I'm just like, and he's like, pick your battles, Mel. And he's like, it's not your responsibility to intervene with these people. I know you care. And I know that this means a lot to you, but, you're just going to have to educate the people that want to learn. And I'm like, yeah, I know you're right. So it's like, man. Hello, LB, things and stuff and more. How are you? Man. If you are not prepared to shut down that kind of behavior, you should not be a moderator. That's the way I feel about it, Nether. I'm like, why? What was the whole purpose? You start out saying, let's be civil, and then the moderators vanish. They should have kicked those people out, in my opinion, because other people were like, would you stop it? And my mom was like, I have never seen them do that on this page. It genuinely frightened her. She's like, I have never seen them behave that way on this page before. You need to leave because they're, and keep in mind, I live in, deep South. Most of the people on my street voted for Trump, and they're all heavily armed. I'm actually considering getting camera surveillance for my house because it got a mob mentality, like burn the witch kind of crap. Oh, she's Antifa, blah, blah, blah. The last thing I need is some crazy backwater dude who's heavily armed to try to figure out where I live because he supports Trump and I should be removed from the planet because how dare I? You know what I mean? And given what's going on in Portland and everything else, it's frightening. And I couldn't even, if I was black, oh my God, I can't even imagine if I was a person of color. If I was brown or black, oh my God, I would be terrified to live here. I have made masks for anyone who needs or wants one. Thank you for that, LB Things and Stuff and More. People are freaking out about wanting kids back in school full time. It's BS. My kid has lung disease. I'm not doing that. I don't blame you, Mama Atheist. By the way, guys, let me talk about some of the work that I'm doing out that's connected with my science communication work. I'm being put in contact with someone who's developing online curriculum for homeschooling. And so they'll be reaching out to me, I think, pretty soon. And just so you know, guys, I am technically a certified K through 12, not K through 12, 7th grade through 12th grade teacher with a master's of arts in teaching in science education. I can legally teach, at least in my state, physical science, biology, and chemistry. So if you're planning on homeschooling, let me know because I've already got some stuff that you can use, at least for physical science and actually for physical science, chemistry, and biology. I got stuff you can use. So let me know and I'll help you. I'm also going to start making monthly videos. Do you guys know Courtney Hurd? Do you know Courtney Hurd? She is part of an organization, the IAA, not the AAI, not them. She used to be part of that organization, but she's in a different organization, the IAA. And so she reached out to me about a few weeks ago to start making monthly videos for that are essentially discussing evidence-based education. And also to debunk pseudoscience and that sort of thing for her organization. And so her organization, if you haven't checked it out, they are the International Association of Atheists. And some people will be like, well, this means Scientist Mel is making a statement on religion. No, it's not. That's not a statement on religion. I have always maintained that if any organization, whether it's religious or atheist, wants my help in science education, I will help them. Okay? And so I'll be making videos. My first video for them is going to be related to the coronavirus, it's a hoax thing. I already have lots of experience with that, but I'm coordinating with other experts. So I am working with Doc Savage. Doc Savage is an immunology and virology expert. Been cited probably 500 times now. Has a Nature paper. He's my go-to. He's my go-to expert for pandemic, and he did work in pandemic response, and the Gates Foundation calls him sometimes. Anyway, he's the person that I call about the immunology and stuff. I'm like, hey, can you check my stuff? So he's gonna weigh in a bit on pandemic response and some thoughts on why people think this is a hoax and how is this different from other pandemics, because that should play a role as well. And then I also have a friend of mine named Scotty who has a PhD in psychology, and a lot of his research is focused in science-based or evidence-based education. And so I'm working with him, for psychological aspects for this particular video, and and he'll be weighing in on stuff so this will be a heavily expert checked type of thing. And so I'll be making monthly videos for them with different topics that they give me associated with evidence-based learning, whether it be to debunk pseudoscience or why it's important that we, have education that, is evidence-based. So look for that. That's going to be distributed by her group. I'm still working with tasteofscience.org. I think they're still trying to figure out their sea legs with streaming. So it's getting there. So there's lots of stuff that's going on. And This Week in BS, my show, This Week in BS, where we had an episode last Sunday featuring Nervardia. She's going to be a regular co-host now, guys. Yay! And so we might shift the times. It depends on her work availability. Sometimes it'll be on Sunday at 7 p.m., I think. And then other times it might be on a Saturday evening about 7 p.m. So it depends on what her work schedule is. So it's going to fluctuate between those days. And so she's going to be my co-host. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Last Sunday, we ripped apart the second half of a PragerU video. And yeah, I'm paying her, guys. I'm actually paying her. Because, I get Patreon money, and This Week in BS is part of that. So anytime I have somebody that's like a regular co-host or a producer or something, like Doc Savage never wanted any money. He just, wanted to be on the show. And I when we did Oral Audacity, he never asked for money. He wasn't interested in that. But, Nervardia is going to be a co-host. And if she, I'm like, hey, let me get you some money associated with this. You can use it however you want, help with your costs for your channel. And so she'll be on. I think we're going to shoot for the beginning of August. And it'll be a lot of us just ripping apart bad science. And so if you guys have videos that you would want us to destroy, send them to us. So that's some exciting news. Oh, and morning, Christopher, on Facebook. I'm sorry I was late saying hi to you. What's up? Class sizes are nuts now. Social distancing, how are you going to do that? Exactly, LB, and things and stuff. It's crazy. I don't know how they're going to do that. Masks at all times. Mel raged out a little for me the other day, and it was epic. Yes, it was Mama Atheist. He never answered if he was the monkey or the street harasser. He just quit talking to me after a while. People who act that way. That was fun. Always use science. Hey, gonna go for it? How you doing? Oh, goodness. All right, I'm catching up on the chat. Interagency agreement. No, it was the International Atheist Association. Hey, Don, good night. All righty. Okay. I'm catching up. I'm trying to see. Sadly, there are plenty of people who think being an expert in a field means nothing. That's true, Nether. I encountered them yesterday. Somebody said I was not qualified to talk to them about how to wear a mask. Great Heart Lab says, Mel, holy crap, I watched Nervardia. Yay! Yep, so if you missed it, that was the last stream that we did. So you can go and have a look at that. If you ever do a climate science one, Mel, I got you. Awesome. I can check that out. Oh, goodness. All right. Mr. Shadow Kitty, I am resigning from my job as a music instructor because I can't teach wind instruments due to the fact that it can't be done safely without masks. Can you teach remotely, though, Mr. Shadow Kitty? Can you teach remotely at all? Goodness. I wonder, is that an option for you? Um, and if it is, I can help you with that. I'm always sciencing. Well, I mean, if you're gonna hit up somebody and get rebuttals and stuff, you know, I chose to use how certain behaviors are associated with lack of, self-esteem, and also that monkeys who have small testicles tend to yell the loudest. Maybe that's an all caps thing. So I don't know. I asked the guy, is he a monkey or a street harasser? Because the street harassers have the lower self-esteem and feel like they've not achieved their actual goals in life. Of course, I posted my citations, as you do. So Christopher Hall says, did you see the stats based on 0.7 mortality rate and 70% herd immunity among school kids? That's over 37,000 dead school kids. And Cruella DeVos likens kids to astronauts. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, it's not just the mortality. It's also the morbidities associated with that. There's also permanent damage associated with infection, with a virus. We're finding out people who are asymptomatic present lung damage. Right now, it looks like it's temporary, but given that this virus, it's slowly mutating. It's not mutating as fast as, we would expect, but there are worse strains now. And that's kind of the thing. The more people that this virus infects, the higher the likelihood that we're going to get a worse version, a more virulent version. It's pretty scary. Do you know about our Fairbanks tunnel studies? I'm not certain about that, Don. You can shoot it to me on Twitter in a message or something. Billions of lobbying over decades has eroded all trust in science. Yeah, no kidding. It really has, man. And apparently I have an Antifa agenda. I burn flags, and I'm not a real person. And so I learned this yesterday. Oh, and by the way, guys, if you ever get angry on Facebook, get on the treadmill, because I burned 500 calories. I burned 500 calories in 47 minutes rage walking with that experience. 500 calories. I'm actually quite impressed with that. So I have burned a total of well over 900 calories between my workout and rage walking. So next time I get angry, I'm just going to get on the treadmill and walk the entire time that I'm angry on the internet, because you can burn some calories. I think with everything that I burned with my deficit, I could have had 2,500 calories yesterday. I didn't. I could have had 2,500 calories yesterday and still had a deficit, because I burned so much in my workout. So walking on the treadmill. Oh my God, are you serious? It's just, I'm like, I was making so many faces reading that. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Okay. If only we could burn calories. Well, you can burn calories if you set idiots on fire. It's just not you burning the calories. The idiots have the calories burned. I'm pretty certain that that energy associated with burning them is probably that way, Nether. Let's see. Scientist Mel. That's a good question, Greyheart Labs. Have you ever heard of a claim that said the cloth or homemade masks don't work for protecting someone from the virus? Just curious. There's actually not yet peer-reviewed studies about different materials and how well they contain the virus, or the reason why we wear a mask is to prevent, if you happen to be asymptomatic, if you're sick, you should wear a mask. It's also for people who are asymptomatic, because we're finding out those are our Achilles heel. The people who are asymptomatic and transmitting the virus. You can still transmit the virus, through your breathing out. So the masks keep it in. Now, it doesn't provide a whole lot of protection from breathing in, but there's more information to show. The more layers you have in your mask, the higher the protection. So what I do, and you can do this too, I don't have them over here with me right now, but I have like the cloth. I bought some, let me see if I can pull this up. I bought these on Amazon because I will be working in the lab with students in the fall. I will be working in the lab with students in the fall, but we're keeping it to small groups, 9 students at a time. So I bought some extra masks. I found on Amazon these cloth masks that you can get about 50 of them for $30. Let me see if I can find my order. Let me find my order. And I'm going to pull up those masks. And I'll show you what I do. And I'm pretty happy with it for the most part. I use those little, they're just really black, almost t-shirt material type of masks. And then I'll get like a gaiter on top of it. So here's one thing that I do. Let me see. I don't want my cart visible right now. All right, so here's one thing that I do. This is gonna anyway, I'm just gonna put the link here in the YouTube chat, and you guys can check it out. It's not letting me. Okay, so I'll just show you on my shop. I actually have these on my shop. So, because this has my address and stuff, and given I have weirdos that think I'm a member of the organization of Antifa, I don't really want my address posted or to dox myself. So let me show you. Let me show you what I got here. Okay. All right. So on my shop, I've got these little neck gaiters. So I use something similar to this. But I also wear the black cloth mask underneath, just a standard t-shirt material mask underneath. And then I put this on top of it. So this particular one is one of my designs. Not wearing a mask, stay the F away. Yeah. Really should probably, I have like it's like the censored version and the actual swear version on my shop, if you want to check that out. So that's what I use. So I put like the regular mask, and then I have like a neck gaiter that I put up on top of that. It provides an additional layer. So, the droplets would have to get through that first layer, and then they would have to get through the second layer, right? So the more layers you have, the more that moisture has to penetrate. And so what you do is you take these off and you toss them in the washer. As soon as you get home, wash your hands, wash your face, take a shower. And anytime I leave the house, I also put my hair back, guys. You think this isn't like a perfect filter for all kinds of germies? And moisture. So I put my hair up when I go out. And then I have different clothes that I wear when I leave the house. I wear a neck gaiter like this with a mask underneath. And then I bring them home and toss them in the washer. I do that every time, along with the clothes that I wore. Now, if I just stayed in my truck and they loaded my groceries, I still wear that just to try to normalize wearing a mask in my town. But I don't feel like I have to change my clothes then. But after I clean the groceries, yeah, I still have to. So, but I have lots of different designs for this gaiter. That one is the sweary version, by the way. And then I've also got Science is Non-Binary. It's Pride 2020. Science is non-binary. You might enjoy that or not. But yeah, so that's usually what I do. But the idea is the more layers you have. So if you got like a bandana, if you got one of those masks and put the bandana on top, the more you fold it over, the better it increases your chance of, not being infected. Oh gosh, I can't. Christopher said, "I wish I had your explanation. My cat shut down the computer after you had said comorbidity. I can't find a decent article on the major comorbidities." Well, as far as like high risk people, Christopher, you mean high risk, or do you mean what happens with the morbidities after infection? Because there is evidence to show that there's permanent organ damage. Bye, LB things, stuff and more. Have a great Saturday. Did you mention how low 0.7 is as a mortality rate and how useless herd immunity seems to be thus far? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty useless. Here's the problem. Here's your problem. So it seems to be some immunity to certain strains is not lasting in certain individuals, and it is in others. So some people are like, well, that's going to be a problem for a virus, for like a vaccine. Well, not necessarily. You can get multiple inoculations or injections of a vaccine in order to ensure a sustaining immunity. And we also see one example. Thank you, Doc Savage. Is he did all work on HPV vaccine. He found that essentially your immune response to the HPV vaccine is stronger than if you were just, exposed to the vaccine alone. And so, until we get more data on this, it might be that we might need several shots in order to boost that immunity for that. Yeah, herd immunity overall is pretty freaking useless. I mean, and also they're going with this idea is, oh, it's just the sick and the elderly, but still, and it's just the people, let them stay home. Like, we're going to just throw their, like, basic rights and civil rights out the window and say, hey, you should never leave your house, but the rest of us are. Party down there. It's just like they kind of throw that out of the way. We had a stream about Dr. Butt Hair just the other week. Yeah, Butar or Butter or whatever, man. He made me so mad. Oh, by the way, Nether and Dynacat loves me. I think the shirts have been shipped out. Your shirts. So I got notifications that the shirts had shipped out. They were just taking a while because they have a high backlog of orders. So let me know when you get them. All right. We haven't begun to approach infection rates that slow the spread due to herd immunity yet. No, we haven't yet. And hospitals in Texas are sending the patients they don't think they can help home to die. Yes, that's happening now, guys. You get to live. You don't. You get to live. You don't. How do you? I mean, it's just, they can't even make them comfortable, This is where we're at. This is America now, guys. I'm pretty soon we're going to be at how many bodies fit in a football field with some towns. I hate to be morbid like that, but guys, start prepping yourself mentally. Hey, Ghostly Enigma, how are you? Alrighty. Let me see what's going on. Have protective eyeglasses too. Lacrimal glands go straight to nasal mucosa. That's true. I just typically wear my glasses. You could wear a face shield if you want, but a face shield isn't enough. It could be for your eyes, but you can still breathe in peripheral, around the areas. So, yeah, problem with that is that one day we will all remove our mask. Well, I mean, yes, you're going to, but computers are binary, people aren't. True, Christopher. Oh gosh, I wouldn't mind keeping the social distance going, but then I'm an autist who dislikes being touched in a culture of hugs. Yeah, fair enough. Your t-shirt arrived this week. Yay, Dinah Cat loves me. I'm so glad you got it. So, yes, and I'm still giving away stuff. Oh, I gotta update all the points too. Oh, gosh. Scientists will be studying this pandemic for ages to come, and we will have a lot of data because so many people are going to get it. And so, gosh, man. I have a 38-year-old ex-marathoner. She's ex due to lung capacity loss. Yes. Yep. Alrighty. Tony Design. Scientist Mel posted a link in Discord for you. #news. Texas is now sending patients home to die if they don't think they can help them. Yeah. By the way, want to move to Scotland with us when we retire? I found a 60-acre loch island for only $500,000. I'm seriously debating it, but I can't travel to see it. Man, I think so, Christopher. Man, keep me posted on that. You sent me some papers, Don. Awesome. Keep me posted on that. I might be there with you. I don't know how long I can last in the deep south with people thinking that because I have Wonder Woman with Antifa on top, that means, I'm part of a nationwide organization, and they're not even organized. But whatever. Okay. I had planned on playing some videos. Free Scotland, let them rejoin the EU. I had planned on playing some videos of people being angry wearing masks. Wait till after Brexit, property prices will fall, but buy before the Scots declare independence and rejoin the EU. That might be fair. You guys want to watch? You guys want to watch some people getting angry? I don't know. Do you want to see that? People getting angry for not wearing masks. I don't know. I don't know if we really want to watch all that. Let's talk a little bit about dementia tests. Let's talk about dementia tests. Person, woman, man, camera, TV, right? Person, woman, man, camera, TV. Have y'all seen the Sarah Cooper video? Have you seen that one? Oh my God. It had me laughing. But there's also a cut. With let me pull this up. Let me see if I can pull this up. All right, so you guys might have watched Dora the Explorer, right? I saw this on the internet. So the internet is always entertaining and hilarious. So let's have a go with this and see what they have here.
Can you help us?
Yeah.
Can you say person, woman, man, camera, TV?
So it's person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Hooray!
Person,
Did it, guys?
woman, man, camera, TV.
Again!
Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
One more time!
Person,
Oh my God.
woman, man, camera, TV.
We did it! We did it! We did it! Yay!
Because I'm
Oh God.
cognitively there.
Can you
Oh my gosh. Person, woman, man, camera, TV. That's the President of the United States there bragging about how incredibly intelligent he is as far as like being able to say that. You want that link? I put it on my Facebook, Christopher. Christopher's an IRL friend, guys. I have a few IRL friends that are nice enough to watch my stuff. So I put it on my Facebook. You can check it out there. Oh my gosh. Person, woman, man, camera, TV. What do y'all think of all that? It's just person, woman, man, camera, TV. And then, of course, Sarah Cooper is freaking amazing. Did you guys happen to see? Did you happen to see her latest? Okay, let's watch this. This is hilarious. Okay, we got to watch Sarah Cooper. She's about the only way that I can even listen to what he has to say in any capacity is filtered through Sarah Cooper.
Acuity test, and he said there actually is, and he named it, whatever it might be. And it was 30 or 35 questions. The first questions are very easy. The last questions are much more difficult. Like a memory question, it's like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV.
I love her facial
So they say,
expression.
could you repeat that? So I said, yeah. So it's person, woman, man, camera, TV. Okay, that's very good. If you get it in order, you get extra points. If
You get extra
okay,
points.
now he's asking you other questions,
Oh my God.
other questions, and then 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes later, they say, remember the first question? Not the first, but the 10th question? Give us that
Yeah.
again. Can you do that again? And you go person, woman, man, camera, TV. If you get it in order, you get extra points.
You get extra points.
They said nobody gets it in order. It's actually not that easy, but for me it was easy. And that's not an easy question. In other words, they ask it to you, they give you 5 names and you have to repeat them, and that's okay. If you repeat them
my
out
God.
of order, it's okay, but
I
you
really
know,
want to send him one
it's
of
not
my
as good.
chemistry problems.
But then when
that
you
I
go
do.
back about 20, 25 minutes later and they say, go back to that question. They don't tell you this. Go back to that question and repeat them. Can you do it? And you go, person, woman, man, camera, TV. They say, that's amazing. How did you do that? I do it because I have like a good memory, because
memory.
I'm cognitively there.
He's a bigly, very stable genius, guys. I can't believe that this is the President of the United States bragging about remembering a few words. Yes, we do need person, woman, man, camera, TV. We need to turn it. I need to ask Hannibal to make a remix of person, woman, man, camera, TV. We need that as a remix, because I think that would be awesome. So Sarah Cooper making the current state of the world a bit more tolerable, one funny video at a time. Oh my gosh. He hesitates. He's hesitating. Person, woman, man, camera, TV. Oh gosh. It's just it's weird. I don't watch TV. Nothing worth watching anymore. Fair enough, Ghostly Enigma. I've been streaming television. I've been watching a show called Get Shorty on Epix. Really good show. That's been taking up some of my viewing. And then I've been watching a lot of Victorian style dramas. Like, sometimes there's comedy, I don't know. I think I finished PBS on Amazon. That's pretty much finished PBS for all that. So that's funny. All right. So I don't have too much more. Lordship Mayhem, how are you? We need to. Am I in Trump saying that to the Macarena music? Oh, okay. Like mix in Trump saying that to that would be funny. I need to message Hannibal and Monty and see. That would be hilarious if they could do that. I think I think they could do that. That would be pretty funny. And so I do stuff for their channel too. Believe it or not, I pop around to different channels. Some of y'all know this though. Okay, let's look at some let's look at some latest science news. How about that? Let's look at some latest science news. Let's check this out. Here you go. So this came out. Science still presses on. We're still going, guys. Against all kinds of obstacles, science continues to be a reckoning force. And, you know, the search for answers. Are the hypotheses accurate? Pesticides speed the spread of deadly waterborne pathogens. Wow, that's interesting. I think I might want to look at that. Enhanced water repellent surfaces discovered in nature. Any of these speak to y'all? Genetics could help preserve coral reefs. Photos may improve understanding of volcanic processes. Or processes. I want to say processes. I don't know why that sounds better in my head. And out loud a little bit. Researchers discovered 2 paths of aging and new insights on promoting health span. Have they updated the coronavirus report? It looks like they have. Research unlocks genetic key to sunflower resilience. Ooh. NEOWISE, rare image of comet's sodium tail. Ooh, that sounds cool. The little analytical chemistry person in me is getting a little bit excited. Any of these speak to you guys? Nether's been watching live streams of D&D groups, and it's really entertaining. I used to do a one-shot over with Godless Cranium and some of his stuff. So, any particular story speak to you guys? Let's see. I kind of want to check out the rare image of Comet's sodium tail. That tail is sodium fine. That should be a t-shirt. Have a comet in the tail and say, that tail is sodium fine. I feel like that should, I need to put that on a t-shirt now. Sunflower. Tony Design says sunflower. Okay. Let's have a look at sunflower. He is the first one. He's like first on the topic. Let's see what they have to say. All right. It could improve production of agricultural crop plants. I like sunflowers. They're so cool. Okay, sunflower variation is preserved by blocks of supergenes. And so, let's see. We can click on this. That didn't make it larger, man. Oh, I can download the high resolution. Anyway, if you're curious, check out the National Science Foundation nsf.gov/news. They also have an app so you can stay up to date. You should do a Scientist Mel cheesecake ad. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm already a cam girl for science, and I'm pretty certain that might have been used against me yesterday. But it's like a joke, you know. People can't take a joke in my town for some reason. Anyway, so let's see. The results of this U.S. National Science Foundation funded research are published in the journal Nature. Ooh, it's a Nature paper, guys. I bet it's behind a paywall. What do you want to bet? Man, I wish the college I had access to all of these. We need to like coordinate and see if there's a way that we can get this. It's behind a paywall. Anyway, let's have a look and see what it says. Species, and this comes to us. Massive haplotypes, not haplotypes. Although, again, I could make tights with chromosomes on them. That would be cool, actually, and we could call them haplotypes. Oh, gosh. Super Gene Registration Act opposed by Captain Antifa. What's the topic? Well, right now we're talking about sunflowers, but we were talking about how angry I was yesterday and masks and talking about in just general questions associated with masks and all of that. Science should be open source. You're right. So massive haplotypes. I did it again. Massive haplotypes underlie ecotypic differentiation in sunflowers. All right. Ecotypes. Species often include multiple ecotypes that are adapted from different environments, right? So we have this, an example of this. You can have one flower that's poisonous, and a cousin flower that's similar be medicinal, just from slight variation in genes. This is kind of what they do a lot with studying different plants from the rainforest. It's where you found periwinkle, which is still used as a cancer treatment. So, however, it is unclear how ecotypes arise and how their distinctive combinations of adapted alleles are maintained despite hybridization with non-adapted populations. So, breaking this down pretty much is how is it that we have differentiation among certain species of plants when you have certain combinations, and how their distinctive combinations of adapted alleles are maintained. So these particular alleles, so even though you're crossbreeding different types of plants and getting new variations of it, those particular alleles, those particular genes that are adaptive, that make a particular plant super fit for an environment, maintain and they stick around. Why don't those change? So that's kind of the question here. So here, by resequencing 1,506 wild sunflowers from 3 species, I'm not going to say those names. Y'all know I don't do words so great when it comes to this. If I'm not Jackson Wheat, I'm not Jackson Wheat, and I'm not Aaron Ra. I'm just saying. I'll try. Helianthus anus. That looks like anus with an extra N, so maybe it's anus, right? Helianthus petiolaris and Helianthus argophyllus. I think I said those right. We identify 37 large 1 to 100 mega base pairs. So that base pairs are like G, T, A, and C, the genetic pairs. So 1 to 100 mega base pairs in size, non-recombining haplotype blocks that are associated with numerous ecologically relevant traits as well as soil and climate characteristics. So those particular huge genes still kind of stick around, which is cool. Limited recombination in these haplotype block sets. So there's not much of blending. So whenever you start to mix up genes and stuff, and you got the little the sex happening between plants. Sometimes you have recombination where things get shuffled around a little bit, and that doesn't seem to happen with these particular genes, and that's what they're saying here. So limited recombination in these haplotype blocks keeps adaptive alleles together. So those particular important, highly, useful genes that help a plant stay, super fit for an environment stick around. So that's nice. And these regions differentiate sunflower ecotypes. For example, haplotype blocks control a 77-day difference in flowering between ecotypes of the silverleaf sunflower. Funflower. I almost called it funflower. I really like the way that my words just come out wrong. And then they also have seed size, flowering time, soil fertility, in dune adapted sunflowers. Wow. These haplotypes are highly divergent. They separate pretty good. And they're frequently associated with structural variants and often appear to represent introgressions from other possibly now extinct cogeners. So all of these, okay, one of the things that I try to do, particularly on this on this channel, and also what I do as an academic and professor, is I take the hard words and I try to relate them in accessible language. So like with videos that I do and stuff, it's really important. This is kind of like reading Shakespeare, right, guys? So when we go through and we're looking at this paper, you're like, there's lots of really sciencey big freaking words here, you know, and fair enough. If you're used to what the words are, you're like, oh yes, massive haplotypes underlie ecotypic differentiation in sunflowers, you know. So it's like, if you're not used to seeing those words, it's like freaking, you know, reading Shakespeare for the first time. You're like, what the heck is this? What did I just read? You know, so being able to navigate that particular, you know, navigate the language is really, really important. And that just takes time from spending time with it, you know. See, yeah, read that. My legs are too skinny to look good in haplotypes. Tony Designs. Well, you know, maybe shorts. We could do haplo shorts. Oh, God. My sunflowers are massive in size. Well, that's cool, Dawn. Sunflowers are fun flowers. This is true. Yeah, actually prefer sunflower flour over wheat. I need to try that out, Nether. Thanks for just putting that little idea in my head. Dawn, good night. My flowers, veggies, and fruits are well off. Lots of example photos. Yeah, I know you post those on Twitter. They're pretty great. Okay, so there we go with that. Massive haplotypes. But are your haplotypes massive? Do you wish you had smaller haplotypes? Or haplotypes? I'm going to say that wrong now. I've said it wrong 3 times, and I'm probably going to say it wrong forever now. So that's great. Let's look at that sodium fine tail. Let's look at the sodium fine tail. What do you think? All right. That tail is sodium fine. My art is science at work. You're right. Gardening is pretty amazing. Rare image of comet's sodium tail. Do you want to see this sodium tail? Nah. It's not so fun. My thighs are so big, I need diplotides, man. You're funny, Nether. I have the greatest, most massive haplotypes of any president. You know, I bet he would probably say that. Oh, gosh. So how long until they get the genes in the farm foods we grow? What do you mean? Because we know a lot about the genetics associated with that. I mean, we have, you know, Monsanto is a huge, you know, genetically modified organism to where they actually make plants that are resistant to specific pesticides and herbicides. And so they grow regardless of, you know, whatever herbicide or pesticide. And it's due to the genes that's in them. So if you can elaborate a bit more on your question, I will be happy to answer that. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. Ah, hey, Baron Harris. Good morning to you. You just got in right now. Thanks for raising your cup of green tea. Mine is iced coffee. It's hot outside, and I want iced coffee. Alrighty, here we go. I am behind on updating points. I need to do that, guys. Somebody shoot me a message on Twitter and say, update points, Mel. My God. You know, and I'll be like, okay. So let's look at this sodium fine tail. All right. Okay, here we go. Left, it's light reflected off of cometary dust. Cometary dust. That's a cool word, guys. Cometary dust. And right is the light emitted by sodium ions. Isn't that cool? That's so cool. I'm just going to take a look at that. I really like that. I love spectroscopy, guys. It's just My goodness, spectroscopy is just amazing. This is how we know what atmospheres are like on other planets. Tony designs his cometary dust. I saw them in concert in '89. Oh my gosh. Ah, cometary dust. All right. But that's cool. Spectroscopy is so awesome, and it's highly useful in not just, in determining what, atmospheres are like on other planets, compositions of comets and stars. All of that also gives us clues to like the beginnings of, and how the universe came to be, But it's particularly useful when you're trying to figure out how much stuff is in a solution, because of the fact that certain compounds and atoms absorb light in particular colors known as wavelengths. So this is really, really useful for us, man. It's freaking, I just love spectroscopy. It's so cool. And I love microscopy too. I love confocal microscopy. I could just sit. I think I really should just do like a soothing video of confocal microscopy and spectroscopy images and put it to like soothing music. Or me going, isn't this beautiful? Don't you guys just love it? I could try to do ASMR. Some people are like, oh my God, no, don't do ASMR. It'll make me nuts. And other people are like, please do ASMR. It's just weird. I think it's like a cilantro thing. Either you really like ASMR or you don't. And it's like cilantro. It either tastes really great or like soap. So I think ASMR is probably similar. It fires off different parts of the brain. And I'm very responsive to it. So stuff like that works great for me. ASMR. Anywho. So this was in early July, comet Neowise approached the sun. I didn't even know that there was a comet named Neowise. That's almost very Matrixy, isn't it? That's very Matrixy. So, very Matrixy. Thanks. Nether understood your question better, Ghostly Enigma. Thank you, Nether, for responding to that. Sometimes I don't process information, and we can process like questions differently. That's another thing. Sometimes my brain will read something and I have no idea what it's saying to me. So it's weird. But so thank you for responding to that question, to Ghostly Enigma. Thank you, Nether. All right, so Neowise. Comet Neowise approached the sun for the first time in nearly 4,500 years. Oh my God, I didn't even know Comet Neowise existed. And so it's now faintly visible toward the northwest after sunset. You can look at it apparently through binoculars, and its showy tail should continue to dazzle through at least July 22nd. Well, I missed it. I freaking missed it. But thankfully, they took pictures of it. All right, comets are icy dirt balls. This should not. And their tails are made of dust, gas, and plasma. This should not have tickled me as much as it has this morning. Comets are icy dirt balls. And their tails are dusty and full of gas. And ionized gas, apparently. Oh God. I'm absolutely silly. So essentially we can see sunlight reflects off of tiny particles of dust. They pick up the gas from the tail of the comet. They pick up momentum and drift away from the sun. The heavier bits of dust are harder to push. They drift. Oh God, they drift more slowly. These forces affect the shape of the dust tail, very similar to the appearance of the comet to the naked eye. It's like all of the Uranus articles or Uranus. Sometimes they say Uranus. Article titles are always hilarious, and I think they do that on purpose. But here, it's fun to talk about heavier bits of being harder to push out the tail end of, of icy dirt balls. Oh my goodness. Tony Design says, icy dirt ball. I went to high school with him. I figured icy dirt ball sounds like a gym coach, if I'm honest. No offense to gym coaches out there. My gym coach in particular, particularly in middle school, could have been called icy dirt ball because he was really creepy. And he was quite cold, I think, in middle school. Middle school gym coach, icy dirt ball. But that's cool, you know. And so spectroscopy wins again. Yay for spectroscopy. I shouldn't be laughing at that. Now, that's not very nice, but it is true, says Brian Harris. Oh, my goodness. So, oh, God. I'm just going to take a minute. That should not have cracked me up as much as it did, but it's all right. Icy dirt balls. All right. Let's look at one more article, I guess. They've made a GoPro for beetles. Can you believe that they've made a GoPro camera for beetles? That's going to bring back like a whole new era of Monster Bug Wars. You guys ever watch that show? Monster Bug Wars? I think you can watch them on Amazon if you haven't. I got to introduce Peasy Myers to Monster Bug Wars because now he's all into spiders and stuff. And sometimes they have like the Huntsman spider on there. And so I got to introduce him to Monster Bug Wars, and that became like, he just fell into that rabbit hole. And I think he was off Twitter for like 2 days, just binge watching Monster Bug Wars. If you've not checked that out, that's a pretty cool show. So let's look at GoPro for beetles. Oh my goodness. Yes, it should, says Brian Harris. Christopher Hall says, even when the band has been gone for around 50 years. Are we talking about icy dirt balls, or are we talking about we're talking about the other band? The comedy thing. What was it? Cometary dust. Gosh, I forgot the word already. Oh my gosh, guys. This is cool. This is cool. Check this out. Somebody put a tiny camera on a bug, on a beetle. Look at that. They put a tiny camera. Let me blow this up a bit more so you can see a bit better. Come on. Blow up, blow up, blow up. Look at that. They put a tiny camera on a beetle. Look at that. It's like it advances vision for small, tiny wireless steerable camera advances vision for small robots. Look at that. How cool is that? That teeny tiny camera. Okay, now all of my computer people are like, how's it put together? I'm looking at all the components. I know who you are. You can check it out. So they developed a tiny camera that can ride aboard an insect. How cool is that, man? That's freaking amazing. Monster Bug Wars. Yes, you're on it. Awesome, Brian Harris. Enjoy. Beetles. The Beetles. Oh, gosh. Yeah, the Monster Bug Wars. Yeah, they don't make the sounds in that show, by the way. You're absolutely right, Mr. Shadow Kitty. If you like bugs, check out the Ants Canada channel here on YouTube. That sounds cool. So, oh, they referenced the movie Ant-Man. Check that out. In the movie Ant-Man, the title character can shrink in size and travel by soaring on the back of an insect. How cool. They referenced a little bit of Marvel, you know, to draw in the readers. Now, researchers at the University of Washington have developed a tiny wireless steerable camera that can also ride aboard an insect. giving everyone a chance to see an Ant-Man view of the world. I appreciate that they brought in like Marvel references here, because, you know, sometimes you got to draw in the viewer and, like, you know, relate to them. And it streams to a smartphone. That's cool. At 1 to 5 frames per second, and sits on a mechanical arm that can pivot 60 degrees. Boy, that's some intense engineering there. And allowing a viewer to capture a high-resolution panoramic shot or track a moving object while expending a minimal amount of energy. To demonstrate the versatility of this system, which weighs about 250 milligrams, boy, that's tiny, about 1/10 the weight of a playing card. Yeah, it's like really tiny, guys. The team mounted it on top of live beetles and insect-sized robots. I want to see a video of this. Is there a video of this? Is there a video of this or not? I just feel like... Let me see. Okay. I want to see if there's a video of this. Okay, come on. Take me to robotics.sciencemag. Here we go. I want to see video of this. Guys, always post videos of cameras on insects. Always post videos of that. You got your publication? Post a freaking video. We want to see. We want to see this. Golly. Scientists are nerds, you're right. I am. It's picked up by 62 news outlets. Of course. It's cameras that are on top of freaking insects. Are you kidding me? Let's see. Let me see if there's... I had initially posted... I had initially done a YouTube search on people angry over masks. Now I'm going to see if there's any videos of tiny camera on beetles. There's a video. They have a video, guys. Okay. They have a video. All right. Let's have a go with this. I'm excited now. I'm excited. This is from a maze lab. Someday it will load. Okay. So I'm just going to turn off the sound so they don't go, hey, that's music. That's not allowed. Look at that. Okay. So this is the University of Washington. And, okay. That looks weird. Okay. So that's the video. And it looks like it was picking up the ruler. All right. I kind of feel bad for the insect, but it's still really cool, you know. I'm like, 30 degrees, so it'll turn 30 degrees. Okay. And it's about the size of a penny. I don't know. I think maybe they need to work on the transmission of the image, right? But still, that's pretty cool, right? Huh. What do you guys think? I mean, it's still cool, but I was expecting something, you know, like full color and stuff. I suppose, I mean, that'd still be awesome. It will be published in the journal. So they're able to pick that up. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. I don't know. That's still pretty cool. Thank you, Peter, for posting that link. Digitaltrends.com. Washington bug camera. Lots of videos will end with close-ups of the intestines of birds and frogs. Probably. Oh my gosh. Too many scientists with nothing better to do. I don't know. I think that's pretty useful. You know, I think that's pretty useful information. I mean, you can make little tiny cameras and put it on things and see what it's like. I was expecting like hypercolor HD stuff, and I'm like, you know, I was slightly disappointed, but still, I'm not disappointed at the fact that they've made tiny cameras to fit on top of bugs. Yes, will be more useful once they get the frame rate up. Exactly, Ghostly Enigma. And you're right. It was 1 to 5 frames per second. That's what it said in the article from National Science Foundation. So there you go. So I guess I'm going to wrap up. This was pretty awesome. Do check out nsf.gov/news for the latest in science news. That's my go-to when I want to find out what's going on, because the National Science Foundation covers such a diverse amount of science, and they fund so many projects, and it's an invaluable resource. So do check that out. Stay tuned, because this week BS is going to come back with Nervardia as a co-host. Yay! And so Gonna Go For It is kind enough to redo the intros. So let's we're gonna have a segment called Stupid Things we see on the internet. And we're gonna have, and here's the little thing. So send me your videos and send me the stupid things you find on the internet, and we will post it on there. And if you have a particular video you'd like me and Nervardia to completely destroy, send it to me on Twitter or send it to her. I told her, I said, I'm just going to tell everybody to mention you and send you all the stuff so it'll fill your ads. And she's like, don't do that. And I'm like, I'm just kidding. But do check her out. Do check out her channel. So we're going to start that at the beginning of August. We will start in the beginning of August. That's our first date that we're looking at. And so if you have any ideas for topics or anything you want us to completely destroy, check it out. It'll be a lot of fun. I think we have fun. We had fun last Sunday talking about PragerU and Dr. Varkey and how unethical and completely wrong he is. That's fun. All right, so I'm gonna read Mr. Rogers, I guess, and then we're gonna sign off. And you guys are gonna have I hope you have an amazing Saturday. And if it's Sunday where you are, I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. So let's just see what we got to say. All righty. Let's see what we got here. I'm trying to. Let's see. I'm trying to find something. Okay. Here we go. And this is from The World According to Mr. Rogers, right? Mr. Rogers. Would Mr. Rogers be proud of you today? That's what I tend to think about when I'm like, would Mr. Rogers be proud of me? Did I do something to make Mr. Rogers proud? All right. It's very dramatic when two people come together to work something out. It's easy to take a gun and annihilate your opposition, but what is really exciting to me is to see people with differing views come together and finally respect each other. I'm looking at you guys, anti-maskers, who combed my Facebook timeline in an effort to intimidate me. Mr. Rogers would not be proud of you, I don't think. He would probably sit down and talk to you about how you should treat your neighbor, your literal neighbor. And don't be mean to my mom anymore. I don't appreciate that. Anyway, it's very dramatic when two people come together to work something out. It's easy to take a gun and annihilate your opposition, but what is really exciting to me is to see people with differing views come together and finally respect each other. I miss Mr. Rogers so much. Here we go. There you go. The World According to Mr. Rogers. One of my favorite books. Mr. Rogers and Carl Sagan. Two sides of the same coin, man. So I'll end with this. You always make each day special for me. You know how? By just your being you. Check us out next Saturday at 10 a.m. Central and look for This Week in BS starting at the beginning of August. And I will see you then. Sending squishy science hugs. Bye.